Hello.
Hello.
How are you being tattooed currently?
Yeah, we're just getting
The
it all
set up
and getting all the lines drawn on. So he's not doing it freehand. Just don't trust him to do it freehand.
What's the tattoo you're getting?
It's just You Are We, the name of our album. It's my second You Are We tattoo. I just keep getting the same tattoos over and over again. I've got like 7 birds, 2 snakes. I ain't got fresh
Ran out of
ideas.
items, so
Ran out of ideas. Wow.
So yeah, You Are We is the new album.
Stop. How the fuck did that? It's Elle's phone somewhere.
You Are We is the new album that you're currently touring.
Yeah.
We're in Nottingham now at the Rescue Rooms. What's the what's the reaction to the album been? Has it lived up to what you thought it would?
Yeah, it's actually been really amazing. You can see the progression like each night as people are like living with it a bit more. Like I think it's been out 2 weeks now, and yeah, people are really getting to grips with it really quickly, and it's nice to see. Especially after releasing this independently, after not having a solid platform, like to release it on like a label, it's always a little bit of a question whether it's going to run smoothly or not. But yeah, it's all turned out really, really great. So we couldn't be happy with it.
Does it worry you in the lead up to the release of an album that maybe it won't be received as well as previous albums, because you've notably done very well in the past? Is it a worry that you kind of will be managed for this tour to be get off its feet and stuff?
Yeah, it is always the worry, because it's our careers hanging in the line of like a bunch of new songs that that people have never heard before, and especially when we feel like we've swayed in a little bit more of a different direction with this album as well, especially. So you do hope that people will get to grips with it and perceive it really well, but it has done. So that worry's gone now, which is great, and yeah, people are singing the anthems along every night, and it's great. Couldn't be happy with it.
Was there a sort of a reason that you went a different direction with this album? Or was it just kind of the way you were going with?
It's just like a natural development. It's never really a conscious decision whether to be like this is the direction we're going to go in. It kind of like it's influenced just by things we listen to at the time, I guess, and I think it's just a reflection of just how we developing as musicians as well. Like it's just the different influences and everything, and after a certain period of time while writing it, you do like kind of see yourself heading in a particular direction. Then you kind of play on that, and then you end up with the end product. I love the direction it's gone in. It's a lot more. I think we've got an album full of anthems, which I think is the best thing to do, really. Get everyone singing along. Definitely has way more dynamics.
So obviously, as you say, you've just released the album, and you're still on touring that album. So there's no rush to get anything else out there. But are you always in the kind of process of making stuff? And when do you think more stuff could be expected?
We're always the creativity doesn't really stop. You know what I mean? Like depending what it doesn't matter what it is. Matt's like taking a tattoo venture and shit. So we're always like constantly just being creative. And now we have the warehouse, which is like our little headquarters, and that's kind of the place where we just go and be productive and just bounce ideas off each other. But yeah, like Sean said the other day, he's going to start writing again pretty soon, like getting some riffs and ideas out, just because he just feels inspired with how well this is going. Which is it's the most energy we're going to have around us as a band is always around a release, and it's the most hype we're going to have, and I think we need to take that as inspiration to start. Sorry.
I think quite a notable thing is that you teamed up with Oliver Sykes from Bring Me the Horizon. Is there more sort of collaborations that you can see happening in the future? Is there any sort of dream collaborations that you think as a band you'd love to?
Never really set out to do collaborations. Really, we always kind of feel obliged to do them, because I think like a lot of people, like people doing most albums that they release. But no, like with Ollie, it was just kind of happened naturally. Like he loved the stuff that we were doing, and when we showed him a couple of songs, he was just like blown away by it, and it was just like I've not really been this inspired by heavy music in a long time, and he just wanted to help out. So when we sent him the track Silence Speaks, the middle section wasn't actually written vocally, and then he had a little bit of an idea for it, and then relayed it back to us, and we were just like, yeah, that's amazing. So it was just like the best thing to do. is just if you want to do a collaboration, that'd be ace. We'd love to do that. Then on the last album we did a collaboration with our old singer Jordan. So we always try and make it like, you know, a little bit meaningful, not just like getting somebody on, you know. In terms of like getting more collaborations on future albums, probably I'd love to do something with the Darkest Hour, and Thrice for sure.
That'd be an incredible collaboration.
Thrice are watching. Just let's do a collab, dudes. There's a bunch of artists that we'd love to collab with in the future. Thrice probably being the top one, closely followed by Darkest Hour.
That's cool. So what is the kind of, you know, you touched briefly on it, but what is the writing process like? So when you decide that maybe a new album's due, or a new single or whatever, what's it kind of, have you all got kind of ideas of what's going on, or is it literally when you get to the kind of the base?
We wanted to like rekindle like the original way we used to do stuff, like with North Sounds to Nothing, which was our first like kind of success in a way. We all like moved in together in the barn, which were like Matt's dad's place. It was like a separate building to his house, and when we lost that place, we kind of like we felt like we were missing that like creative hub and that place where like that like main hangout really, and just so where we could all be around each other. So we tried to rekindle that by doing it in the warehouse. This time we decided to take on the mammoth job of building the place that we were going to record in before we started writing the music. So yeah, it's always a little different. The writing process is always a little different, but we all have like a lot of ideas. It usually starts off with like Sean, like the main riff writer, and then it usually comes in, and then like we'll like bounce ideas off each other. Matt will come with like sit with some of the parts for a while, and then come with some vocal ideas, and then it develops. So it's all like a little similar in that sense, but it was just nice to have the warehouse to do it in this time. We just felt a little bit inspired by ourselves really, because we were just like, we built this amazing place and it just had a great vibe about it, and we were just like, we need to do this album justice because we've put in so much hard work already before we've even written the thing. So yeah.
And one final question, because I know this tattoo job's going to get
some pain.
Yeah. As you know, as a musician, as a person, I guess, who's the musician for you? You mentioned Thrice, you spoke quite kind of eagerly of Thrice, but what if you had to name one person who is really kind of the pioneer of music for you, who would it be?
I wouldn't be able to put that on a person. I think I just like I said before, like Thrice was like the main four artists that we grew up with, and I think they really changed like the perception of how we saw music, and I think they were the first kind of people that didn't like conform to a genre. It felt like they expressed themselves with their music, and their music was like kind of really them, you know what I mean? And I didn't feel like, it felt like Thrice were just Thrice, and there wasn't like a heavy band, there wasn't like this hardcore band or whatever. It just really felt like they were their own musicians and expressed themselves through music. So I'd probably just say those four. I won't be able to pin it on one person, but they really changed the direction we took as people and musicians. Really, they really inspired us to really stick to our guns and just do what we like no matter what.
Well, thank you very much for chatting. It's been a lovely interview. I hope it's not too painful.
Me too.
And have a lovely show.
It's my first stick and poke actually.
Oh really?
Yeah,
It's horrendous. It's like imagine a normal tattoo, but just like at snail's pace.
So how it goes.
Good luck. Thank you very much for chatting.
Cheers, mate.
Have a lovely show.
Cheers.
Cheers.